Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today in the shop we're going to do a comparison between these two saws. So I picked this one up off of Facebook Marketplace a couple months ago from a kid who was trying to get his start in small engine repair. He kind of wanted to tinker around, and he decided to start with this Husqvarna 55. It is, according to the serial number, it is a 2004, and I don't know the reasons why, but he decided to replace the cylinder and the piston on it, and then he couldn't get it running, and that's when I picked it up. Now, I probably paid more than I should have for a non-running power head only, so I didn't buy it with the bar or chain. It was only the power head. I paid $100 for it, but knowing that, okay, it has at least a new cylinder and piston on it, and it's clean. And I will say he did a really good job cleaning it up. It was pretty clean. It's a little dirtier now that I've run it a few times, so I figured, why not? Shouldn't need much. Maybe it's just something simple. It did turn out to be something simple. It was the piston ring snapped. I don't know how a brand new piston ring can snap. It's pretty simple to put it back together. I don't know how he did it, but he did it, so that's why it wasn't running. So I put a new piston ring in, runs just fine. It was missing some other hardware, like it was missing one of the cover screws for here and the speed rivet, the speed nut that helps hold it on. It was missing a couple intake screws that I replaced. It was missing this handle filler here, which I replaced. And of course it was missing the bar and chain. And come to find out, when I did get it running and it wasn't oiling, oil was coming out, but the worm drive gear behind the sprocket was also missing, so he didn't put that back on. So now that's all together. Saw works great, and like I said, I did pick up this bar and chain. It is a 3/8 sprocket, chain and bar, and I did go with the Oregon. Actually, this was a really cool find on Amazon. This was a combo that I got. I was going to buy Oregon already. I was going to do that just to keep costs down. But my dad actually found the link, which I'll put in the show notes here, so you can check it out if you're looking for it. It was cheaper than I could get with my discount through another site. So I went with it, and it fits. I bought one for his. My dad has a 55 as well. His is a little older. It's a 99, but so yeah. So the point of this video is today we're gonna compare these two. So this is a 2004 55 with a 20-inch bar and chain, 3/8, 050. This is a 2010. This is a 2010 455 Rancher. 20-inch bar, 3/8, 050. Now I have a skip tooth chain on it right now. I'm going to swap that out with a full house, so that the comparison will be a little bit more fair as far as when it comes to cutting. But yeah, apparently this is what replaced this. I'm not a huge history buff when it comes to Husqvarna or any of this stuff, so I'm kind of learning as I go here. But this was the precursor to this. There was the 55, there was the 55 Rancher, then they got discontinued to be the 455 Rancher. And a couple of the specs here. The 55, I found some conflicting information. This is either a 3.3 or a 3.4 horsepower. I was seeing the 55 and the 55 Rancher, they were only 1 horsepower. They were only 0.1 horsepower difference between the two. So, and there were some earlier models and whatnot. So this is either a 3.4 or a 3.3 horsepower model. 51cc. I'm not sure what the max torque cutting range is. But everything I've read says it is lower than the newer saws. It's a lower revving saw. The 455 is a 3.5 horsepower. So if this is the 3.4, it's only a 0.1 difference between the two. It is a 55cc, so it is a little bit larger. Not by much. It's pretty comparable between the two. But I've had, and the max torque range, cutting range on this is 6,600 RPM. So this has been cleaned up. I've tuned it. I've made sure, you know, it's got a tune-up on it. When I bought it used. The spark plug was almost not even in the threads. It was just jiggling in there. Guy was complaining about it not cutting well and anything. Actually, I guess I could be swapping out that chain while I'm talking to you. So, yeah. So, ironically, the guy was an auto mechanic. Well, he worked at a shop, I should say. And but this saw was definitely not well taken care of. And I gave it a new home. And that new home included a tune-up. It included new bars and chains. He gave me 4 additional chains. One had a broken raker on it, so I'm like, well, there's no way that chain's getting used, so that one's useless. And then I just proceeded to sharpen all of the used chains that he gave me, and they've been cutting great since the day I got it. So I bought this skip tooth, and I also have a 24-inch for this too. I bought it with a 20-inch. Like I said, I bought a skip tooth just out of curiosity, and I do like the way it runs, especially on this saw. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to put this off. This is an Oregon skip tooth. Alright, yeah, this is my good used chain that I've sharpened many times from the guy after I was told they were all junk. Alright, now I'm going to clean this up a little bit more when I put it all away. But for now, this is where it's just going to stay. Yeah, I have found that a lot of people, when it comes to their chains, and I say this as someone who also used to do this, was that chains are just a one and done disposable item. People don't take the time to learn how to sharpen them. I'm not saying go out and get some fancy sharpener. Like I just use a hand file. That's all I do. I hand file all my saws, all my chains. Every chain that I've done for somebody else, I've hand filed them. It doesn't take a lot to do. I mean, it just takes time. But big thanks to obviously the guy that most people who get into saws watch on YouTube, Buck and Billy Ray. If you don't go over and check out his stuff, I strongly suggest that you do. Definitely entertaining. The guy is super talented, and you will learn something along the way. Probably this is the largest one that I have. I would like to have more. I probably will have more someday. I'll have a larger one someday, but for what I do, this is enough. I've cut down a few trees with it, and actually, let me just check this real quick. Good to go. Okay, so that tension's good. Actually, I can turn this around here. I have the 55 here. I got the 455. That's a pulling that I'm working on for a friend. That's his saw. Needed a rebuild. I have this Echo CS400 that I'm going to be selling. Actually, it is for sale. I'm waiting on a choke knob to come in for it, and then it's done, good to go. Another Poulin that is for sale, ready to go. I got that little Home Light XL, which was actually those 3 were purchased on a barn find. I bought them all together as a lot, and they needed very minimal things to get running again. And then that is my very first saw, my 435, which was given to me for free it belonged to my father-in-law. He never actually ran it, so it was given to me after he passed. And that I've done, there's an 18-inch bar on it. I cut down a pretty big ash tree, and I'll overlay a photo here. A pretty big ash tree with that little saw, so it's capable of doing a lot of work. But that's usually, I keep that now for little things. So the 435, the 455 here, I thought was going to be a nice upgrade to for something for bigger stuff. So, and it's going to be probably more than enough that I need. If I ever get a chance to upgrade to something bigger, You know, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. So now that they have equal chains now, actually the only difference is going to be this is an 04 but a brand new piston and cylinder. This is a 2010 with the original piston and cylinder that's still good. Both have 20-inch bars and chains. This is brand new. This has never cut wood. This has cut many, but been sharpened. And actually, I think I did sharpen it one more time before putting it away, so it is good to go. So it's going to be pretty. All things going to be pretty equal here. And I'm going to put out a thing of. I'm going to get some box elder maple to cut through, and we'll see how they stack up. Because I've seen people ask, what's the difference between these two saws? Which one's better? Well, we're going to find out. I have a feeling they're going to be pretty equal, so we shall see. Okay, we're going to start with the one that I know. I know how it cuts, I know how it runs, so we're going to start with that one. It would help if I had gas. Must not have put a lot of gas in this one either. Swinging and missing today. ran out of gas. That's all right. That's all I needed. Alrighty, so for the first time of running these two back to back, and actually the first time really running this in wood, prior to this video I'd never run this in wood, so I think I had to have run my dad's once before, and it's just not fresh in my memory, so I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember how it ran, but this is definitely a lower revving saw. Personally, my opinion is the 20 might be a tad too much, depending on what kind of wood you're cutting. But I wanted to run a true comparison here. Also, a lot of people do like the bigger bars, so that's how it's getting sold. If someone wants to run a smaller bar on it, that's up to them. Given these two, this is a little heavier. This has a little bit more weight to it than the 455. The 455 has an adjustable oiler, which is nice, which I accidentally had it on the middle setting. It should have been on the high setting for that. This does not. This just hemorrhages bar oil, as you run it, which is better than not, I guess. Let's see here. So, slightly larger capacity on the gas tank. I mean, if I had to keep one of these two, I would keep the 455. Revs a little higher. Now, also, to be fair, brand new chain, so it's full weight. That is an old chain that a lot's been filed off of. I mean, let me see if I can get you off here and look at the difference between. So, brand new chain, okay, which probably could use a file. If you, right there. I don't even know if that's going to focus. So, that probably could use a file. It's not the best out of the box chain, whereas this has a nice, I got the gullet there, friends, and has a nice working edge on it. So, bit of a difference when it comes to the type of chain, the quality of the chain on there. So this was definitely grabbing a whole lot more than the 455 was, but just based on weight, I would go with the 455. So, but still, 55 is a good saw. I think it was worth me picking up, a nice little project for me to finish building, and it'll be for sale. Hopefully, by the time you see this video, somebody will have already purchased it. So, that's all I got. Hopefully, it is cooler in your neck of the woods. It is pretty brutal here, and that's all I got for this little saw review. Take care.